Speaking at the event, Principal Secretary State Department for Housing and Urban Development Charles Hinga said Kenya can borrow several lessons from countries like Singapore that have successfully implemented affordable housing schemes.
Singaporeans passed almost a similar law, but they were bold. And they decided that for us to fix the issue of housing, we need three things. We need to attract private capital. But to attract private capital, especially for majority of people that have lumpy cash flows, we need a steady stream of cash flows. And so, they decided that the element of sacrifice that they had to make first was 22% for every employee of your payslip. You set it aside into a central provident fund. And the employer, 17% went into the central. I'm not talking about 1.7%. We're talking about 17% went into the central provident account. Today, to cut the long story short, Singaporeans, 70% of them live in a government-sponsored house. All you need is a payslip. No long stories of writing stories about where I come. No, just a payslip and you have a house.
He went on to say that the biggest challenge the housing scheme projects continues to face is commercialization of land. This has made land prices exorbitant, thus repelling investors.
Land in this country is the most expensive in the continent, in Nairobi particularly. The other day I saw land across the street where I work in Upper Hill cost 1 billion shillings for an acre. Upper Hill. I understand, we're in Upper Hill actually, yeah, right? So land here cost 1 billion shillings. A few years ago, it was 3 million an acre. And when I talk about a few years ago, we're talking about 10 or so years ago. Now it's 1 billion shillings. So we can't talk about 1 billion shillings an acre and talk about affordability in the same sentence. So we've got to do something about our land cost if we have got to tackle affordability. But I don't want to bore you because I know you all know the issues. Cost of land, cost of construction, cost of processes, and cost of financing. Those four things are the main reason why we are where we are.
John Simba, Chairman Bamburi Cement, went ahead to state that for affordable housing schemes to work, several issues need to be addressed, key among them government goodwill and financial support.
Would like and urge the government to continue implementing effective macroeconomic policies and create an environment that enables all of us to do our businesses and grow. And that way we'll address a whole lot of things. Not only that revenues to government will go up, we'll create jobs, and we'll create incomes for people to build and improve housing, their own housing. We, as Bamburi, I believe we are the largest single customer of KPLC. And we know precisely movements in energy costs, what it means in our production process. And if you are to ask everyone here, they will tell you how their businesses are affected. And we can only urge that this issue be addressed so that energy costs go down. That way, we'll be able to be more efficient and competitive. Not just competitive within the Kenyan economy, but for those who export, they will be able to compete with others out there. I think it is good to address that so that people can have access to credit. And so that when we are talking about bringing down manufacturing costs, when we are talking about reducing materials for building, that and improving and creating jobs that people will have then access to credit. Because even if you have access, you have a job, you cannot be able to accumulate at once enough funds for you to build a house. You need credit over some time.
To this end, David Nyamu, Director, Credit Risk Equity Bank, went on to state that it's prudent for financial institutions to find a way of funding the housing scheme to fast-track its realization.
Recently, we have signed a partnership with Bamburi. That's all over the country in Kenya. They have a number of retailers. And when you look at the transactions that they are making, the biggest problem that some of these retailers will come to tell you is at times we do not have the working capital. And since I've put down that the bank has a strong balance sheet and a single lending limit of 25 billion, we are able now to give those retailers what is called bridging finances from time to time. And this is what we would also want to extend to you as big contractors. That if, and since government is here today, if we can only draw a triangle, that you as a contractor gets the contract, and we believe in you that you will be able to complete that contract, and we believe in the quality of work, the quality of workmanship. Ours as a financial institution is to enable you fast track that process. With people like Bamburi now in the picture, and others who will be key in achieving this goal, as Equity Bank will be able to release funds even on the basis of your work in progress. That at no one point will you stuck in that journey of finalizing the project.
With the clock ticking and time quickly running out, it is about time that deliberations reached at such forums are turned into actionable plans as a matter of urgency if Kenyans are to enjoy affordable housing by the year 2022.